let's talk about goals. So a lot of people in rental property investing lead with the house and not with the plan. It's not the right way. You need to lead with the plan and then the house. The house is a part to the whole. It's not the whole. It's much bigger than that. You need a 50,000 square foot view of looking at what could happen and what you want to build. It's very important, and it's what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. So in order to do that, we're going to start with the why. The why is key. So there's something called the golden circle. Simon Sinek talks about this. Why you do what you do. It's a why, how, and what. A lot of times people come to us and they know a little bit about their why and they know a little bit about their what. They don't know so much about their how. We're going to cover all three of those today. Let's talk about your why first, because trust me, it's the most important. Most of our clients are categorized into a few different spaces as to why they want to build a rental property portfolio. Number one, they want to build generational wealth for their children. Let me tell you something. You can change your entire family tree in one generation. One. You might have had generations of poverty. Trust me, that can end with you. I'm not just saying that. I mean it. I've seen it, and it's part of my own story. All you need is a few houses in order to achieve that goal. So be that change. The second reason of a why is sometimes people want to build passive income. That also changes generations. Trust me. That allows dollars to make money versus you making money. So building passive income is a 100% reason why people real estate invest. Another reason, they want to diversify. A lot of our clients come to us, they're already maxed out in their 401ks. They've already made some investments. Some have worked, some haven't. And they want to add another element to their portfolio because at the end of the day, they know that every millionaire has real estate in their portfolio. Another reason for their why is they want tangible assets. Look, we live in a digital world, right? Sometimes you want that tangibility. You want to know you literally own something that is real, that you can touch and feel. Real estate is that. All right, so the purpose is a big deal. That's your why. It has to be big because trust me, things are going to get hard. Okay, you can also back this up by saying, what is your history in real estate? How did you grow up? Did you grow up in a home? Did you grow up in a rental and your parents never owned a home and it was always your dream and desire? Is it your wife and you's biggest goal? Are you in your mid to late 30s and you think it's time and you just feel fundamentally important that you need a real estate asset? That kind of stuff helps drive your purpose and your why. So again, remember, we start with the plan, not with the house. This will pay off in dividends. You're always going to pay for it somewhere in the process with your time, energy, effort, stress. Where do you want to pay for it? I'm a big believer that you're proactive and you're not reactive. So let's start and build a strong foundation, no pun intended, and that will pay off in dividends on the back end. You don't want to be reactionary in this space. Most people are. Set yourself apart. All right, when is the timing right? This is very important. Everything in life is about timing, okay? But to be honest, it really does depend on your goals and your strategy. A question we get a lot is it the right time to buy? Interest rates are so high. What's the economy doing? Well, those are important questions to understand, but remember, you have to stay focused. You're just going to buy your first house, your first investment, your first rental property. You don't need to think like a hedge fund manager. You need to think like a person, a normal person, just like me that started out. And just like you are, that wants to buy their first house. So it's going to go back to your goals. And a good leader knows how to qualify that. The economic cycle is something to pay attention to. And let me tell you what that is. The economic cycle is a natural fluctuation of the economy between periods of expansion, that's growth, and contraction, that's the recession. Factors such as GDP, gross domestic product, interest rates, levels of employment, and consumer spending can help determine the current stage of the economic cycle. In summary, most economic cycles are from 8 to 12 years if you look over the history of our country. So if you hold real estate on average of about 10 years in most major markets, you're going to be okay. Okay? So it's going to be okay. That's what long-term is. You need to think about it in a 10-year increment. And as long as you can commit to that time frame, no matter what you do in real estate, you're going to be okay. Let me tell you a little story of a company that I work with. So this company basically was funded by a large retirement fund out of Canada. Millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. And what they did in 2011 was start to acquire properties that were on market, which is what is called listed on the market. Those are in the MLS, and off market. Those are foreclosures. Okay. What they would do is they would set up offices in major markets in some of the major states: California, Arizona, Florida, and Texas, which is where I came in. I helped build the state, 4 major markets within the state of Texas out: San Antonio, Austin, Houston, and Dallas. And I put up brokers and agents in those offices, and they would go help them buy on-market properties. We were doing this in 2011. Let me tell you, most people weren't buying properties in 2011. The pit of the Great Recession was in 2010. That was the lowest of the low. That was the trough of the recession. And they were buying so many properties and nobody else wasn't. They were paying $150,000, $175,000, $200,000 for these huge single-family home, wonderful assets in great markets. They did this all the way through 2015, and they went on to be the second largest single-family home owner in the entire world. So is it a right market to buy homes? It depends. What's your strategy and what's your plan? Let me tell you, they're sitting on quite a pretty penny today, I would say. All right, next, we hope you qualify for willing and able. Every client that executes on any property ever has to meet at the intersection of willing and able. We can help you qualify for ABLE by doing something we call BANT. It stands for budget, authority, needs, and timeline. So what is your budget? How much money do you have? I have to break something to you. And I'm sorry to tell you the truth, but I'm going to do it. You have to have money. You just do. Are there outliers where you don't need money? Yeah, there are. And there are hard money lenders that will give you money, but you still have to have equity in the property. And hard money is a short-term tool. We don't want that for this. This is a long-term asset. You have to match long-term debt with a long-term asset. That is key to success in this space. So you're going to need money. That's called the down payment. It's going to be from 25 to 40%, usually. Okay, even when rates were very low at 3.5%, even for investors, we were still putting 25% down on the property because we don't take a negative cash flow. That's rule number 1. So when we qualify for budget, we need to understand what your money is. We go deep into the money. We get real close real quick. And that's okay because we need to know the truth. So we need to know the authority. We need to understand who's involved in this transaction. Who are the decision makers? And then we got to get those people on the same place in front of us, and we got to talk to them. Then we're going to get into your needs, and we qualify those. Are those realistic? Are they not? And then we're going to get into timeline. Are you ready to do something within 6 months? Look, you have to have a timeline. You just do, or you're never going to execute. You have to be bound by time. Every goal is bound by time to some degree. It's a key component a lot of people leave out. It's one thing we help qualify for. All right. I talked a little bit about long-term. Long-term means at least 10 years in rental property investing. Just go ahead and accept it's a decade. Could be a little before, could be a little bit after. But the goal here is to not liquidate. The beautiful thing about rental property is you have choice. That's incredible. Choice is freedom. That's incredible. But you have to be prepared to hold. Willing. Willing? You might think you're willing. That's part of our leadership to help qualify that. When you work with a professional in this space, a good leader will always qualify willing. But what willing really means is that you're willing to play by the leader's rules. You're ready to do something within 6 months, and you're willing to adjust. This is about relationships. This is not transactional. It's very important. We're going to get a little more to that in a little bit later. In conclusion, welcome to real estate rental property investing. We're going to go on this journey together. It's going to be intense. It's going to be exciting. and it's going to be profitable.